Sometimes winter riding in Finland looks like this. Especially in late February and March, you can have blue skies, crisp frozen trails, and the forest is lit up by the low winter sun. But right now it's the end of December, and with limited daylight, more often than not, it looks like this. So I'll take you on a little trip I did recently from my hometown of Rauma, through some familiar forest and trails, and out to the coast to a place where I'll camp for the night. We'll see some of the different snow conditions and trails, I'll tell you something about the gear I took with me, and I'll show you where I made camp and the kind of tarp shelter I made for the night. All in darkness, of course. So I start my journey by riding through the quiet suburban roads out of town. Good hard-packed snow and easy riding, past the homes and yards all lit up with the Christmas lights. But it won't be long before I leave the well-lit roads and make my way into the rural landscape and forests, where I'm not really sure exactly what conditions I'll find. Where the roads are well travelled, the snow is packed down, smooth and hard, and a joy to ride on. But on the lesser travelled trails and the farm tracks, there can be deep snow and frozen ruts. So I'll just need to wait and see what I find, but for now, I'll enjoy the good going. So it's not long before I'm out of town and in the darkness in the forest, and I stop for a wee sneaky Mars bar and a chance to look at my bike and show you the kind of gear I've got with me. Yeah, so I was going to say something about my setup on my bike. I've just got this old cyclocross bike and I've got some gravel tyres on it. No spikes, just these WTBs 40mm. There's not much call for spikes on this stuff. It's more or less hard-packed snow. There's some sketchy bits of tarmac that I had to come through that were very icy, and then you wish you had the spikes, but the only spike tyres I've got are 35mm, and they're just too narrow for the forest snow. Yeah, I got a little thermos flask on there, bottle of water which is now frozen. I've just got a dry bag on the front on the aero bars. That's got a big puffy jacket on it, and a couple of spare pieces of clothes. I've got this huge blue bag on the back, big dry bag, and it's basically only got my sleeping bag and a couple of other bits of clothes in it, because I don't have a down sleeping bag that's super small, and when you're sleeping in this kind of weather, but you still want something warm, so this is quite a cheap but huge sleeping bag. So that's why it's so big. And then I've just got a couple of little bags on the back here, and I've got some cooking stuff with me this time because I just fancy a little something warm to eat when I get to where I'm going. Spare clothes, I've got my tarp and some rope and a sleeping mat, a kind of ground sheet type thing in one of those. We'll see them later when I set up camp. And yeah, that's about it. Not carrying too much. It looks a lot, but that's just because of the big, enormous, crazy sleeping bag on the back. And a little top tube bag here's just got Mars bars and odds and ends and some spares in it, and some bike spares under there. Yeah, and that's it. So off we go into the night. Finland is excellent for gravel biking. Endless kilometres of gravel roads, sand roads, dirt tracks and forest single track, combined with wooden shelters called lavos all over the country, means you can spend days on end exploring the countryside. But one feature which is common, at least in the area I live, is that often the gravel roads don't go from one place to another, but go from one place to the middle of nowhere and end. And in order to link up to another road, you often have to cross a few hundred metres or a couple of kilometres of some forest single track to find another trailhead. In summertime, these can be quite rooty and rocky and difficult to traverse, at least on a gravel bike. But in winter, if they've been walked on, they're often filled in, flattened out, and make quite easy and enjoyable riding, just like what I've got here. But, like all good things, must come to an end. Okay, remember when I said things were going good? Now not so good. Oh, it's been hard going. We have deep powder, and underneath the deep powder, just pure water ice. That's like 2 tracks of pure water ice and powder on the top. It's just impossible. I've got about 3 kilometres of this. I don't know whether to go another way or push on through. I might need to walk this bit. Let's see. Okay, so now it's like this. Is this the right way? Oh, so finally got out of that pushing deep snow. Amazing deep powder snow, and underneath it just pure water ice. Impossible to ride on, but at least I'm on a slightly more rideable section now. Kind of coming back out the depths of the forest into the circle, heading towards the coast now. Oh yes, look at this, I've just come on a ploughed bit of road. Woohoo! Oh, I'll be flying down here. Excellent. What a relief, I'm knackered. I'm pushing through that. Bike's pretty heavy to push through deep snow. For about maybe 4 kilometres or so. It was quite anyway, nice going again. So here we are, heading out to the coastline on this little peninsula, part of the Riihniemi Peninsula. Yeah, decked it. Ouch. Check it out, this is just pure water ice underneath the snow. Whoa, I couldn't even stand up. Anyway, yeah, I was about to say it was quite good here. So here we are in the last few hundred metres, I think, through the forest here. Looming out the darkness at some point soon should be a wooden shelter. It's going to be where I'm going to set up camp for the night. Anyway, here we go. Somewhere to make a fire, somewhere to stay. So when I get to camp, usually the first thing I like to do is get out my puffy jacket and my over-trousers and get them on so that I don't cool down too quickly. And then I can think about getting my shelter together. And it was a good thing too, because tonight the wind was very strong and very cold and actually blowing straight in from the sea into the Lavo. So I decided to make my camp behind the building and up in the forest and try and get some shelter in there. It's not a totally sheltered spot here, but it'll do. So yeah, this is just a tarp, and this system where pin down 2 corners of the square, and then take the other 2 corners of the square and pull them together over here into an equilateral triangle like that. And that leaves you with this big flap here, which I've got folded over and secured right there. So this triangular flap here is where you get in. This tarp has got these sort of ridgeline tie-offs all the way along it, so we take the middle one of those and just suspend it up. You can put a pole inside. I was going to put this pole inside, but then it's actually more convenient to string it up like this, and then you don't have a pole in the middle of your area, so it's a bit more spacious inside. Here we go inside, and there's plenty of space in here. Sleeping bag there ready to open out. But I'm going to leave that in there for now while I go and make myself something to eat and a cup of tea to get a fire going. I just had a cuppa, and there's a wee fire over there. Just cooking what's left of my sausages. That's a wee sausage you do. That looks not bad. Turn that over a little bit. Put it over here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Morning. A little bit of a cold night last night. My sleeping pad is not up to the job. It's a little cold on the ground, but the tarp stayed up. So I'm all packed up now, no trace left, and just packing my bike bags. I was going to have a fire, but I don't really need to this morning. And it's quite quiet. It's not as windy as it was last night. There's a lot of grey clouds on the horizon coming in. There's a forecast for a lot of snow coming soon, so I'm going to get on the move before that happens. Just saw a seal swimming past this morning when I got up. So, I had a nice little overnight trip, not many kilometres, but it was just for fun. Learned a couple of things about my gear setup, like don't take a summer sleeping mat in the winter, it just doesn't work. And also, the enclosed tarp style of shelter makes quite a lot of condensation in the cold weather, so maybe it should be a little more of an open affair, but that's for the future to try out. Anyway, I'm off home to get ready for the new year. I hope you enjoyed my little video about my adventure. Please click the like and subscribe buttons, and I hope to bring you something new as soon as I can in the new year. So take care and see you next time.